Andy Lang, let's get to betting strategies with Teddy and the Prez. Andy pretending, imitating, but definitely not wanting to be Teddy. Sumner Hutchison the fourth writes, I do have a question pertaining to MLB. There are certain teams that lose by more than one run quite consistently. Why don't cappers recommend the run line? So, Sumner, let me start by saying this. I don't really spend a ton of time following what the other handicappers are doing. There's too many. I have no idea what play Andy is playing tonight. I mean, I can look, but I don't know. I don't have a clue what Marco is playing tonight. So I can't answer that question in regards to why handicappers in general don't recommend the run line. But I can tell you this. I recommend the run line, and I recommend the run line often. Not only do I recommend the run line often, but I'm recommending the run line today with the Minnesota Twins at -1.5. I got to tell you, though, you got to be careful with this because there's way more things that go into handicapping than just saying, well, a team consistently loses by more than one run. We need them to play a team that consistently wins by more than one run. We need them to play a team that consistently wins by more than one run and is ideally playing on the road so that it can get that ninth inning in. The Minnesota Twins game, Marco likes them -0.5 in the first 5 innings. I like them -1.5. Marco's bet might be better than mine. Marco's got 5 innings against 5 innings. I've got 8 innings against 9 innings. I'm only getting an extra 3 innings against that first 5 bet because the chances of them winning by 2 in the 9th is slim. And on, given that they're at home and will need to hit a home run with a runner on base to win by 2. So there's a lot that goes into this question rather than just that one small concept. And the other thing is always be careful because these trends turn around. If you see a team losing by more than 2 runs 10 games in a row, don't assume that they're going to lose by more than 2 runs in the 11th game. When at the end of the year, you'll go back and you'll notice that the bookmakers were right more often than they were wrong. And most of the time, all of these statistics will end up getting closer to the norm. Andy, what do you have to add?
Well, I think one of the first things I noticed about this question, he asked, there are certain teams that lose by more than 1 run. I think a lot of times people play the run line wrong. I think they look at teams that will win by 1.5, which means you're expecting good and great teams to be good and great every day of the week. We just kind of talked about this, about how it's so hard to be great every day of the week, but it's a lot easier to be bad every day of the week if you're a bad team. And so I think the key word is there are certain teams that lose by more than 1. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more of a square play and an obvious play to say, oh, I've got the best team in baseball and they're playing great and they're at home, so I'll take them to win by the run line. Where instead, today the Royals. The Royals are bad, but Minnesota's not a public team. People aren't like jumping up and down to bet on Minnesota. So when people look at the run line, I think a lot of times they look at it and they go, "Oh gosh, man, am I really going to bet the Twins to win on the run line?" Instead, I look at it as saying, "No, the Royals are going to lose by the run line." So I think a lot of people look at which team is going to win as opposed to which team is going to lose. When I play the run line, it's always just fading a bad team. It's not.
Yes.
That's the crux of the play. It's not taking a great team and saying, I think they're going to win by the run line. And also, I think the books are just all over the public teams. You got to pay a premium on the best teams to win by the run line. And also, in baseball, a lot of people like dogs. Like to find the spots where the bad team is going to play pretty good. I think it's fun to analyze and pick an underdog because if it wins, you look great. Man, I picked that plus 130 tonight. Oh, that's good. It's kind of boring, Prez. I think the Royals are going to win, but are going to lose by the run line. That's kind of boring, but it's profitable.
Yeah,
So that's more than what
boring
I'm
is great.
interested. Love boring in business.
Yeah,
Boring is good.
yeah.
Most of the most successful companies, they're kind of boring. Why? Because they have successful strategies and habits and routines in place, and it ends up boring. So, yes, boring tends to be profitable. I play run lines quite often, honestly. I like taking bad teams and just fading them. You can get these bad teams that go on really, really bad streaks, like Sumner says. So, why don't handicappers recommend the run line more? It's just handicapper to handicapper. For
Yeah.
me, I do recommend the run line, but it's never focused on the best teams. It's
Well,
focusing on fading the bad teams.